Hi everyone. I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate the support. And if you're interested in supporting me further, you can do that by going to my Patreon or Ko-fi link. They're both in the description below. Recently, I realized that one of my really old videos, really old, like in the beginning, I think 4 years old or something, is becoming very popular again. And the subject of the video was expectations strangle relationships. So the more expectations we have of a relationship or of a person, the more it makes the relationship less strong. It weakens the relationship in a way where trust is lost and the person is not able to fulfill our expectations, and we begin mistrusting the person, or our relationship in general just falls apart. Now, of course, a long time has passed by since I did that video, so I have a few more things to say on the subject, mostly about expectations and how, in general, expectations from other people or from society or from the world are not a good way of looking at the world in general. The only thing, and I've said this many times before to everyone, whoever comes to me, whoever talks to me, whenever I'm talking to anyone, the main thing I talk about mostly is the only thing you can control is your own actions and your own thoughts. The only thing we have control over. We don't have control over anything, not even sometimes our bodies, because apparently I heard that the body is legally owned by the state. And so once we die, they have the right to do whatever they want with the body, mostly in some states at least, or in some parts of the world. But what I was saying is that we don't have control over anything really, because our body can fall apart at any moment, and we can get a disease. The only thing we have control over is our thoughts and our mind. And even sometimes our mind can go crazy and we have no control over that. But right now, in this moment in time, if you're a sane, healthy individual sitting here watching this video, the only thing that you can control, especially in this crazy, tumultuous, chaotic world, is your thoughts and the way you react to situations. Your thoughts, just your thoughts and your reactions. That's it. Nothing else is under your control. Unfortunately, what happens in a lot of cases, and a lot of questions that I get asked about relationships, I don't know why I get asked questions like that, but most of the time, whenever people are asking questions about a relationship, it's basically, the essence of it is, I don't like the way this person does this particular thing, or I don't like the way they behave in this certain manner. I want them to change. How can I make them change? I think it's better for them if they change. I know better for them. I know if they did it this way, they'd be better off. How can I change this person? Because I love them and I want them to live an awesome life. In general, I have this perception or this inclination as well, where if I love someone, I want to improve them, or I have all of these ideas for how they can change their life and become better. Because if I'm doing a certain thing and it's working really well for me, I want that other person to do that as well, because then I know that it's going to work well for them, and then they're going to be amazing and awesome. They're going to live a great life, and they're going to be improving themselves, and all of that great stuff, right? And so what I've wanted in the past always, is I always give advice to people. I'm always like, yeah, so I'm doing this and I think you should do it too. And it'd be great if you did it. And then they would listen to the advice, of course, because people are polite, but they wouldn't do it. And then I'd ask them a week later, did you do that thing I told you about? They'd be like, no, I haven't had time yet. And also, I don't think I'll be doing it because of this, and whatever excuses they have or reasons they have. Every single time I'd be disappointed, and I'd sit there thinking, oh my God, this person really doesn't want to improve. They don't want to change their life. I don't think I can love a person like this, or I don't think I can be friends with a person like this. I think I must break up with this person, or I must give up on this friendship. In general, I lost a lot of people because of that, because they didn't listen to the advice I was giving them, and they didn't try to improve themselves or change themselves according to my tenets for them, my restrictions or my ideas for them, right? Again, I think it's all about expectations. We expect that we're going to tell the other people these things, and they're going to see the goodness in our advice, and they're going to follow it, and then they're going to change their lives, improve themselves, and our love and is going to grow for each other, or our relationship in general is going to grow for each other, right? That's not how it usually works, though. The main thing that, as I said, we need to remember is the only thing we have control over is ourselves and our reactions to the things that are happening in the world. We can't control the world, for sure. We realized this in the past few months with the pandemic and the lockdown. Human beings think we can control the world, and we have this idea that we can control the world, but we can't. And a little virus, a tiny microscopic virus, has shown us that we have absolutely no control over the world as we imagined we did. So we don't have control over the world. We don't have control over anything outside of ourselves, our environments. We don't have control over other people, mainly. And so when you are sitting in a relationship where you're like, I really want this person to change, I want them to do this and that, I know if they did it they'd be better off, I know if they did it they'd have a great life, why don't they listen to me? Are they idiots? Are they idiotic? Do they not have a brain? I've thought all of these things myself, and so I empathize with you. But again, the main thing is you can give advice, of course, and give advice if you want to, but realize that 99% of the time the person's not going to take the advice, and that's okay, and it should be okay with you, because again, we're not dictators here that are telling people to live their lives according to certain rules or regulations. We're just human beings trying to give advice to each other, and some advice we'll listen to, and great, that's good. If they do listen to you, most of them, they're not going to listen to you, and it is going to be upon you to have a proper reaction to that. The reaction is something that you can control. You can't control their actions, but you can control your reaction to their actions, okay? And so really be careful. What reaction are you going to have? Are you going to get angry with them because they didn't listen to your advice? Are you going to get upset with them because they didn't listen to your advice? Or are you going to accept it and be like, all right, cool, he is or she is an individual with a brain and freedoms, and they are allowed to do what they want with their life. They're allowed to say yes or no to my advice and accept it or not accept it. And I, as an individual, as a human being, has to accept that. We just have to learn to accept it. Now, again, I'm not saying that don't give advice to people. If you see someone doing something wrong and you're like, I really don't think you should be doing that, of course you're allowed to say it. But as you know, most people will end up ignoring your advice, and they're going to just do what they want, and then you can see them going in the wrong direction, and you can see them going into the train wreck, and you know that's going to be a terrible thing. You can see it coming, but all you have to do is be zen about it and just relax and let go, because all you can do is give them the advice, and then they have the right to choose or not to choose the advice that you're giving them. This is something that comes up over and over again, especially for a controlling, perfectionist, high standard person like me. Like, I have issues. And I'm sure I'm trying very hard to let go a lot. And I'm sure a lot of you who are listening to this channel are in the same boat. You're probably controlling, you are a perfectionist yourself, you have high standards for people and for yourself. And so when people don't follow it, you push them away, or you run away from them, or you break your relationship off. Whereas really, as I said, we're not living in a dictatorship. We're not in the Pol Pot regime where they have to follow the rules of Pol Pot or they're killed, It is a free country. If you're living in any of the Western countries or the developed countries, or any country right now mostly, except for a few, it is pretty much a free country that you're living in. You're living in a time and place where people are allowed to do what they want. If they want to ruin their lives and not take your advice, then they're allowed to do that. Also, you don't know what the future might bring. Sometimes you might give them advice and they follow it and it turns out completely wrong. Or you give them advice and they don't follow it and it turns out completely right. It was the right thing for them to do and actually worked out great. So every person has to learn the lessons themselves. You can't force feed someone to take your advice, or force someone to take your advice, or force someone to live according to your standards of living, right? I mean, that's one of the reasons why we love being in this diverse world, because there's so much diversity and so many different ways of living, so many different ways of thinking, of doing, of being alive. Yeah, certain things might seem wrong to you, but that person, it seems right to them, so they're doing it from their own perspective. Again, I know this is something that's going to be very difficult for a lot of us to hear. It's difficult for me as well, where we are controlling and we know or think that we have the best idea for this person. We think that we know it best for them. That's it. We know that if they follow this rule or this paradigm, it's perfect. We don't have to do anything. They don't have to do anything. They will just have a perfect life. It's not really true though. Like, yes, maybe it worked for you, whatever you're doing. Maybe it'll work for them. Maybe it won't. One of the things I'm always talking about is meditation. As you guys know, I'm always like, oh, meditation, yay, everyone should do it. But some people don't, no matter how much I say, are not going to do it. Am I going to beat my head against the wall and cry about the fact that people are idiotic or not taking my advice, even though it's the best thing in the world? No. I give my advice, and then I let go, and that's it. You know, they might take it, they might not take it, they might never listen to me. It's fine. But I'm gonna keep on talking about it because it's about me. It's about me speaking my voice or speaking my truth. And some people will, some people won't. It's fine. That's not the control. I don't have control over that aspect of things. The only thing I have control over is my own actions and my own reactions. Okay? I really want to emphasize this over and over and over again because I really am surprised at how many emails I get from people who are saying the exact same thing about not having control over someone else's actions. Of course you don't. Yeah, it's not possible. You're not going to be able to control this person. You shouldn't want to control someone else. It's a little bit of a trait where why would you want to control someone's unless you're a parent. Perhaps even then you have to be a little bit careful about that. But unless you're a parent, you have no control over anyone's actions. You shouldn't. You're not a dictator. You're not a controlling. You're not a dictator in a relationship. You are. You have a give and take relationship. I'm sure. Hopefully. So that's what I would say on this subject. I hope I was able to explain myself to you. It's so important, this topic, and I think I'm going to do a lot more videos on this in the future because it just keeps on coming up over and over again in the emails that I get and the messages I get from people. And I really feel like if I need to keep on talking about this in order to hopefully you'll be able to understand that, yeah, you really don't have control over your actions. You don't. It's just so logical, but it's something that we are constantly beating our head against, I feel. If you have any questions about this, please do contact me by messaging or commenting below, and I shall do a follow-up video. Otherwise, I'm so grateful that you're listening and subscribing. I shall see you guys the next time around. Bye for now.